Good evening, hockey fans. Welcome back inside the neutral zone here on Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I am your host, Adam Karnick. Glad to be with you here tonight. We have got a lot to get through tonight. It's been a busy 24 hours in the NHL. Alexander Ovechkin got himself 2 goals closer to Gretzky's record, and then he got injured. We will catch up on the latest with Ovechkin's injury, how serious it is, and just enjoy the season that the Great Eight has been giving us so far. The Boston Bruins went and fired their head coach earlier today. We will look at that, give you the latest up-to-date information there on now who is leading the charge in Boston for the Bruins. And then, starting tomorrow with preseason, and then next Saturday, the PWHL begins its second season. We will look at and preview the 6 teams. They've got names now, nicknames, logos. We will break those down as well as with some thoughts and ideas on the PWHL season that will be getting underway. All that plus more coming up right now, right here in the neutral zone. Do not go anywhere. Let's have some fun. Hello and good evening, everyone. Hockey fans, young, old, new. You've been there for a long time. Welcome on into the neutral zone. I am Adam Karnick. Zach Puplis has got the night off, so it's just you and me tonight in the hockey world. We've got a lot to get through in only about 57 minutes or so. So a lot to get to. Of course, we will be breaking down, we'll be getting you caught up to date on all the NHL games going around the league tonight. We'll get you caught up on all those scores. We've got some NHL news to get to. The latest on Alex Ovechkin, his chase for Wayne Gretzky, and then unfortunately the lower body injury he suffered last night against Utah. And then also the Boston Bruins fired their head coach earlier today. So we will react to that, get you caught up there on that news and everything going on with that. And then we will also from there, we will transition over to the PWHL, the Women's Hockey League, getting underway later this week with preseason. And then next week will be the start of the second regular season for the PWHL. So a lot to get to in the show here tonight. But before we do any of that, we need a quick word from our sponsors, including the platform that makes this show possible, i.e. Sports Radio. So a quick word from our sponsors, and then we will dive into all the hockey conversation. This is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Be right back after a quick minute. IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back on into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Glad that you are here with us tonight on this Tuesday night. We do this every single Tuesday night right here, 9 o'clock in the East, 6 o'clock out West, and all times in between, depending on whatever time zone is appropriate for you. You heard how to follow along with each of our sponsors right there during all that. This show is also available for you on social media. You can follow along with the show on X. We are at IESR Neutral Zone. You can also follow along with me personally on Twitter. I am at Adam_Karnick, or you can also follow along with me on Blue Sky. I'm recently over there as well at AdamK87. So a couple places that you could follow along with me personally. Zach has got the night off. You can follow him on X. He is at the Pupless when he is on social media. He's got the night off tonight, though. So it is you and me, and want to say hello to everybody watching live, whether it's across YouTube or X or Instagram. Welcome on in. Drop us a line in the comments or a chat. Let us know that you're here. Let us know what game you're watching or what story you're following along on, or we cater to new hockey fans as well here. So if you've got a question about the game at all, drop it off in the comments. I'm happy to answer it to the best of my abilities, and we'll have some fun that way. The comments are already bumping. Lots going on there. Good evening, Larry B and Ralph Calise, both in there. Hockey time for Larry B, and Ralph also says good evening to the Neutral Zone crew. We are never offsides. We may never be offsides. However, we sometimes go off the wall or off the rails, but we try to have fun when we're doing the show. Absolutely. And then Larry B, he and his wife went to go see the San Diego Gulls on Saturday. The PWHL affiliate for the Anaheim Ducks taking on the Bakersfield Condors. So a battle of the birds there out in San Diego. Was a high, according to the reports we're getting here from Larry, it was a high scoring affair. 7-3 at the end of 2 periods, and then it was 7-7 to go into overtime. My goodness, you wouldn't think that 7 goals would be enough to get the job done in regulation, but apparently not. But then they got to see, you get to see free hockey in that instance. You get to go to overtime, you get some free hockey. Apparently the extra 5 minutes went scoreless. So then you get to go to the shootout. The shootout, I know a lot of hockey purists don't really care for the shootout because it's not necessarily hockey. I love the shootout. That, to me, that is just, you're getting to see some of the best athletes in the world just put on a show for your personal enjoyment there for that 5, 10, 20 minutes. Of course, I'm also a Blackhawks fan, and, Patrick Kane was effectively a cheat code for all those years in shootouts with all the moves that he could do. But there's plenty of guys there that are able to put those moves on and give us a great show. So Larry, yeah, those aren't, you get to the shootout and typically nobody is sitting. By the time you get to the shootout, absolutely nobody is sitting down anymore. And Ralph, lots of defining moments there. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well done there. All right. Well, we always like to start off the show by going through the scores. We've got 7 games in action going on right now across the NHL tonight, including my Chicago Blackhawks. They are currently tied with the Anaheim Ducks, 1 apiece. The Hawks, however, are going on a power play. So we've got that almost the end of the first period. Jason Dickinson, the Chicago score, and then Pavel Mintyukov with the Anaheim goal here just a little bit ago. In Ottawa tonight, the Oilers are cruising against the Senators. It is 4-1 with just under 16 minutes to go in regulation. And that one, Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid has scored twice in this one. Evan Bouchard also a goal. Draisaitl an assist on that one. Draisaitl's got himself looks like Draisaitl's got himself at least a 3-point night. Yeah, 3-point night for Draisaitl. So the Oilers starting to get back to their winning ways. Also in the third period in Pittsburgh, the Penguins on top of the Lightning 2-1, despite being outshot 31-17. Pittsburgh on top there, but Braden Point did score in the third period to cut the lead in half. It had been Pittsburgh 2-0. Sidney Crosby with an assist, no goals for him tonight. So still waiting on number 600 there for Crosby on that one. In the second period, the Jets on top of the Panthers 2-0 early on in the second period in that one. So still plenty of hockey there in the middle of a 4-on-4 right now. Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele with the 2 Winnipeg goals at this point, both of those coming in the first period. Early in the first in Calgary, the Islanders and Flames, no score there. They're only 5 minutes in. And then the Rangers and the Canucks will be dropping the puck just about as we get off the air tonight. So we won't have anything going on with that one tonight. So 6 games to be keeping an eye on during the show tonight. Larry is excited because the Anaheim Ducks won yesterday. Yeah, they put on a good one yesterday against Dallas. That was definitely a surprise to me on that one, with the Ducks winning 4-2 down in Dallas. Dallas 36 shots on net. But the Anaheim Ducks up to the challenge. I'm just double checking who the netminder was for Anaheim in that game. That was Dostal with 34 saves getting the start last night. So that Gibson would play tonight against the Blackhawks. That's always the joys of doing the back-to-back, is then you've got to turn around and pretty much be guaranteed that you're using a different goalie on both of those. Not going to be using the same goalie for both. Also yesterday, as I'm going to try to be a little fancy here and bear with me here just a moment, but also happening yesterday was a huge day for Alexander Ovechkin watch across the NHL, because on the one hand, Ovechkin had himself a terrific game yesterday. The Washington Capitals out in Utah. Washington won the game 6-2 in dominant fashion. 3 goals in the first period, cruised the rest of the way through. Alexander Ovechkin scored twice, meaning he is down to just 28 goals behind Wayne Gretzky's all-time mark. But then the huge news was in the third period, 5.5 minutes into the third period, Ovechkin collided with Utah forward Jack McBain, went down to the ice seemingly with a knee injury. He did not return. And they are the Capitals came out today and ruled that Ovechkin is now week to week for the Oilers. So I would absolutely take that to mean you will not see Alexander Ovechkin anymore this week for the Capitals. I'm pulling up their full schedule at the moment so that we can get this exact here. But Washington, this is a big blow for the Capitals. We're going to get into this a little bit here with it, but they've got Thursday night, they host the Avalanche. I would fully expect that Ovechkin misses that game. And then Saturday night, they host the New Jersey Devils. I would absolutely 100% expect that Ovechkin misses that game. Then next week, the week of Thanksgiving, they've got 4 games. They are down in Florida to take on the Panthers. Then they stay in Florida to take on the Lightning, come home to host the Islanders on Friday night, the day after Thanksgiving. And then Saturday night, they're up in New Jersey to take on the Devils again. So they've got 4 games next week. Never mind the 2 more they've got this week. I would not be surprised at all if Ovechkin misses all 6 of those games. And obviously, that's a disappointment. Just Ovechkin is currently leading the NHL in goal scoring. And, to have a 39-year-old doing that, 5 goals in his last 2 games, he is on fire right now, playing some terrific hockey. And absolutely he is feeling it, because he knows he's getting close to Gretzky. He knows he's getting close. And the feeling is, for a little bit there, we've been saying, oh, maybe he doesn't. Maybe Father Time catches up with him and maybe he doesn't hit this. Now we're getting back into that feeling of, oh, this is going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Maybe he'll even do it faster than Gretzky did. Oh, boy. Now they're calling him week to week. That is disappointing. And it, obviously it's nothing dirty. It's nothing, it's nothing bad. I want to get the full update here. They're calling it a lower leg injury, and he is officially listed as week to week. I'm looking for something from the coach. Give me just a moment. I had one here. I had it and I lost it. I apologize. But officially they are calling it a week to week injury, and we will see how long he's going to be out. He's going to be evaluated. He's going to have further evaluation with the team physicians on Wednesday once they're back in town. So tomorrow he will get some further evaluations done, some further testing done at that point. He is 26 goals away from tying Gretzky. He is 27 away from taking the record at this point. Here we go. I knew I had a quote from Spencer Carberry, the Capitals coach. Quote, he's been phenomenal this year, leading the charge and our team, not only from a leadership standpoint and in the locker room, but on the ice as well. In times where you need these types of games, you need guys to step up and score or make a big play. He's continued to do that. And this isn't just bad for Ovechkin and the chase for Gretzky, the immortal chase for Gretzky, which was picking up steam again. Washington is currently sitting on top of the Metro Division. I would not have expected that at the start of the season. But when you get, Alexander Ovechkin, arguably the greatest goal scorer of all time, getting back, finding a fresh set of legs and youthful energy again, that can happen. That can carry a team. They are currently on a 3-game winning streak. They're 13-4-1 overall. They're plus 28 in their goal differential, which I believe it is certainly best in the East, and it is second best in all of hockey right now. So they're not just winning games. They've been winning games decidedly. Yes, you're getting great defense and great goaltending in there too, but the scoring, the offensive output that you're getting from this team, this has been a resurgence for the Capitals. But now to be without Ovechkin for, we don't know how long. And, again, not calling it day to day, calling it week to week. Again, I would be shocked if Ovechkin plays in either of the 2 games that they have left this week. And then they have 4 games on tap next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Right now, I would be surprised if Ovechkin plays in those. Now, we'll learn a ton more tomorrow once he's evaluated by the team doctors, once they've had a chance to take a look at him and do some further evaluations and know exactly what they're looking at and how best to treat it. But it absolutely is a blow for the Capitals in every sense of the word. That wasn't the only big news in hockey from the last 24 hours, though. We've had quite a bit of news actually in the hockey world as well over the last 24 hours. The Boston Bruins are off to a much slower start than they would have liked this season. The Bruins overall are, as we come into play tonight, the Boston Bruins come into play at 8-9-3. They are dead middle of the pack in the Atlantic Division. They've got Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Florida in front of them, Ottawa, Buffalo, Detroit, and Montreal behind them. 19 points overall. As it sits right now, they're still hanging on, but it's not looking good. They've dropped their last three. Their goal differential this season is a -21, worst in the division. So really, frankly, they're lucky to be where they're at 8-9-3 on the season. And then word came down today that the Bruins have made a change on the bench. Jim Montgomery has been fired as of Tuesday afternoon. He'd been with the team 2+ seasons. Joe Sacco will take over as the head coach on an interim basis. Montgomery went 120, 41, and 23 with the Bruins. They have been excellent in the regular season the last 2 years, but no postseason success, and then a very, 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 very slow start to this season. 8-9-3 right now. They've dropped their last three. They are 1-2-2 in their last 5. That I mentioned, that -21 goal differential, that is not only worst in the Atlantic Division, that is second worst in all of hockey. Don Sweeney, general manager, said today, quote, "Today I made a very difficult decision with regards to a coaching change. Jim Montgomery is a very good NHL coach and an even better person. He has made a positive impact throughout the Bruins organization, and I am both grateful and appreciative of the opportunity to work with him and learn from him. Jim's accomplishments as the Bruins head coach include a record-breaking and historic season, and I want to thank his entire family and wish him, Emily, JP, Colin, Ava, and Olivia all the success and happiness with their next opportunity." But so now they turn things over to Jim Sacco. Sacco has been with the Bruins for quite a while. This is his 11th season with the organization. He was hired as an assistant coach back in July of 2014. He's 55 years old. He has previous coaching experience. He was the head coach of the Colorado Avalanche from 2009 to 2013. Went a little under 500 while he was there, 130, 134, and 40. He also spent one season as an assistant for the Buffalo Sabres before coming over to Boston. So big news there for the Bruins. We have seen, unlike in other sports, hockey, they are very willing and very eager to move on from coaches when they feel that, hey, it's time, this isn't working, we need to pull the plug. We need to change something. We've seen teams do this. We saw a bunch of teams do this last season, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it here again now. Boston does not play again until Thursday. They host Utah at that point Thursday night. So a couple of days to acclimate and get ready. But that is going to be a big one, a big change upcoming in Boston with Jim Montgomery out and now Sacco taking over as interim head coach for the Boston Bruins. We are going to take ourselves a quick break, and then when we come back, the PWHL, the Professional Women's Hockey League, is set to kick off its season. The preseason starts tomorrow night. The regular season will start next Saturday. We will get you caught up on some of the news from around the league, and we will preview and tease each of the 6 teams a little bit here. This is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
What's good, sports fans? It's your boy Aaron Yell, and if you are looking for sports takes that live a mile above the rest, look no further than Mile High Musings here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Want to talk about NBA MVPs and champions? Yeah, that's us. Perhaps a baseball team that no matter how they play, you just can't quit them? Yep, we've got that too. What about Stanley Cups, NHL award winners in the burgundy and blue? You got it. How about Buffaloes that run, pass, shoot, dunk? You bet. For all things Colorado sports, look no further than right here every Sunday at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, and 7 Pacific. Because if that light is red and the kids are in bed, you are listening to Mile High Musings, where we praise the Lord and cheer for them Denver Broncos. Stay good, sports fans.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph Calise, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports, and I will update you on all that's black and gold. Have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Calise, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
And welcome back on into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Once again, want to shout out and thank everybody that is watching the show live here tonight, whether it's across YouTube or Twitter or Instagram. Thank you for watching and making this part of your sports week. Know a hockey fan that's not able to listen on Tuesday nights? No problem. This show is available as a podcast anywhere you get your podcasts, on Amazon, Google, Spotify, Spreaker, anywhere, iHeartRadio, anywhere you get your podcasts. Just search IE Sports Radio, search the Neutral Zone. You will find it, and you can share the love and let your hockey family know what you're listening to. So, we talked a lot of NHL, obviously, in the first half of the show. That is not the only league that is going to be going on, though. Of course, we talked some college hockey here as well, but there are other pros to be discussing as well on this show. Starting tomorrow, the PWHL will begin its second preseason in anticipation of its second season beginning next Saturday night. So we will preview and we'll tease up and get you set and ready for the second season of the premiere of the Professional Women's Hockey League. Of course, the big change, the big difference is going into this year. Of course, all the teams have names. We've got names, we've got nicknames, we've got logos for each of the teams now. I apologize. I was trying to have the logos pulled up here on the screen, and I apologize. It is purely on my end, just not sure how to get the logos up there for everybody. But that's of course, the biggest news. We've got all of the teams now have nicknames. They're not just Team Minnesota or Team Boston any longer. We've got full-on team nicknames. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite for the six. We've got the Minnesota Frost, the Boston Fleet, Montreal Victory, the New York Sirens, the Ottawa Charge, and the Toronto Scepters are the nicknames for all the teams each year. I'm loving the logos. If you go over to thepwhl.com, you'll be able to see all the logos there. Let me know which one is your favorite. My personal favorite is the Minnesota Frost. That is a sharp logo. It is a capital letter F. And again, I apologize that I don't have the images up. It's purely on me. Technical difficulties, user errors, mea culpa. It is a large capital F in dark purple, but at the same time, it has ice all the way around it and has icicles hanging from it. It is a great, sharp look. I like it very, very much. The Montreal Victory is also a nice looking logo, a triangle badge with a lot of red, white, and blue on it. Very, very reminiscent of almost a World War II type of victory banner that they're trying to show there. So a very sharp look there. Boston, theirs is very creative as well. The Boston Fleet, it is a capital letter B, but at the same time, if you look at it sideways, it is very reminiscent of a trident, and it's in a great teal color there. So some excellent stuff there. Very reminds me a lot of the old Hartford Whalers logo, which I know for some hockey people, that's going to be, how dare you mention that logo, because that's one of the greatest logos ever. But it's reminiscent of that, in that they're definitely using the negative space, the empty space there, to create some cool looks with it. So it is a very, very thought out and deliberate design. I like that one as well. The other three, the New York Sirens, that's uh you've got just, the sirens in blue going across there, and then I'm honestly not sure what's in the background. It might be an NY. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% certain. Let me see. I might be able to share my screen here and give you an idea of what we're looking at here. Yeah, if you can see that up in the corner there, that's it's not a great logo by any stretch of the imagination there. You can probably see all six of them there a little bit. I'll see if I can pull up. Give me just a moment here while I pull back up here on the PWHL website. They had a great shot that was each of the teams being kind of introduced with them. Let me see if I can find it here again. I do apologize. I had it, and then everything. You know how that goes. Here we go. This will show you a good representation of what each of the logos looks like there. That Minnesota one, that is sharp. That is a sharp look there. On the Minnesota, the Montreal one there in the middle. I like that one too. Boston. They put the top, in my opinion, for this anyway, they put the top three right in the middle there. The Ottawa Charge, I kind of reminiscent of like the Flames, that look to it there. That look to it there with the Ottawa Flames going on there with their look. And then the Toronto Scepters, it's kind of creative looking. I don't dislike it. I'm not necessarily in love with it either. The New York one, to me, that's the one that if I were ranking them, to me, the New York Sirens one would definitely be in last. I would probably put Minnesota first. Minnesota, Montreal, Boston, the three of those are great. I love those. Those are easily the head of the class. And then probably Ottawa, Toronto and Toronto after that. They're okay. And then the New York one, to me, would definitely be I'm not sure what it is you're going for here. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure what we're doing here, fellas. I'm not sure what we got going on. What are we doing here? Well, what are we doing here as the PWHL gets ready for its regular season? Again, the regular season begins next Saturday night, not this Saturday, but Saturday, November 30th. They will play some preseason games here this coming week, and then they will move on to the regular season next weekend. So I wanted to take a couple minutes here on the neutral zone and just give you a little bit of a teaser, give you a little bit of a preview of the PWHL season. We'll start off with the defending champion Minnesota Frost. For the Frost, it is it's been a whirlwind since they won the they won the Walter Cup, the championship trophy for the PWHL, but man, it's been a weird stretch since then, hasn't it? It's been a weird ride. They got rid of their general manager, they got rid of their head coach, and it's been a strange turn of events for the Frost since winning that championship a few months ago. You know, it was just May that they won that. But they've now got a new general manager. Melissa Caruso comes in as the new general manager. They're still very strong in net. Maddie Rooney and Nicole Hensley, two of the best goalies in the PWHL. That was a huge reason why they were able to win the Walter Cup in the first place. They're going to need to score more if they're going to be able to repeat as champions. This is a team that's definitely going to need to up its scoring from a season ago. They did have one of the top scorers overall in Grace Zumwickel. She had 11 goals, tied for second amongst individual skaters, but overall Minnesota had a tough time last season overall with the scoring. We will see what they're able to do and how they're able to improve upon that this upcoming season. We'll see what they're able to do there. And give me just a second here. That'll bring us next to the runners up, the Boston Fleet of the PWHL. Of course, they lost in the Walter Cup final to Minnesota. It was expected that you would have predicted Boston to win that series. They're also a team that's going to need to score more. They were the lowest scoring team in the PWHL. They were also abysmal on the power play. So to try to help that, they've added Hannah Bilka. She comes over. She was the 4th overall pick in this draft back in June. So we'll see what they're able to do there. She will most likely pair up with Hillary Knight or Lauren Gable, trying to generate some offense. They also brought in Daniel Peshova from the Czech Republic. So they've done some things. Daniela, the hope there is that she can play some of the general, if you will, on the power play unit and try to get things moving in that direction and try to generate some better offense overall there from the team. Of course, Boston finished 3rd overall in the regular season a season ago. Minnesota finished 4th. So you had the bottom 2 teams that made it into the playoffs, made it to the final. A big reason and a big part of that, we will talk about the team that had the best regular season a year ago, but has also got probably the biggest question overall at this point. And that would be the Toronto Scepters. And the big question there for Toronto, of course, is, are you getting Spooner? When are you getting her back? When is she going to be back? The top goal scorer in the PWHL a season ago, Natalie Spooner, she had 20 goals in the 24 game regular season a year ago, but then getting injured in the first round against Minnesota. That was a massive blow to Toronto. She is going to miss the start of the regular season. She's on long-term injured reserve. As of earlier today, we do not have a timeline for when she's going to be back. So that's the huge question, of course, for Toronto, is how do you replace the best offensive player in the league? They signed Daryl Watts in free agency. Watts was the top goal scorer for Ottawa a season ago. So you're trying to do the right things there. We'll see what what you're able to do and how that's able to help. They also took Julia Gosling in the first round of the draft, and they're seeing her as a Spooner type. And in fact, Natalie Spooner even said that Julia Gosling actually has a better shot than she does. So they're certainly being aggressive in trying to make the adjustments and getting ready there, but we'll see what effect it has and how well it's able to come together for Toronto. Obviously, a lot of concern there when you're having to do that. So then we'll talk about the other playoff team from a season ago. That would be the Montreal Victory. Montreal a season ago was had the second best record in the regular season, 41 points in 24 games, 10, 3, 5, and 6 overall. 10 regulation wins, 13 overtime wins, 5 overtime losses, and 6 regulation losses to add all that up to get to 24. So 41 points there for Montreal a season ago, but they did get knocked out by Boston in the semifinals of the playoffs. So now for Montreal, where do you go? Where do you go from here? A season ago, Montreal, a season ago, good stuff, but you're gonna have to pick up in net a little bit. I feel like for Montreal, their goal combination wasn't always great. Elaine Shuley had the best save percentage, but they were short in wins. They did also. Elaine Shuley also had the best save percentage and best goals against average in the league. We'll see if that is able to hold up and do what they need to do there. And Renee Despiens had a good percentage, gave up a few overall, though, faced more shots and ultimately gave up more goals. And you're also then wondering, is Danielle Sauvago, if Daniel Sauvago, the Montreal general manager, they took a bit of a long shot with their last pick a season ago, Youngblom, coming over from overseas. Took a while to get here and play in the PWHL. Played in Sweden a lot last season. We'll see what they're able to do there. They also drafted Abby Barine. So we will see what's up for Montreal this season. Those were the playoff teams from a season ago. Now let's take a look at the two teams that missed out on the playoffs a season ago. We will start in Ottawa. We will start with the Ottawa Charge. Sorry, just getting my visuals pulled up here. And I've got, sorry. There we go. Now we've got for the Ottawa Charge there. So Ottawa a season ago, in their 24 games, they were 8 regulation wins, 1 overtime win, 6 overtime losses. That was the most overtime losses in the PWHL. In fact, there's 7 overtime games overall. Only one team had more. Montreal had 8 overtime games, but the 6 overtime losses for Ottawa, that was the most in the PWHL. So can they get better in the extra time, or can they just avoid getting into that extra time altogether? Ottawa gave up the second most goals in the PWHL a season ago. They've tried to improve their defensive depth. Ronya Sevalinian, who comes over from Finland, she is coming off of a championship in the Swedish Hockey Championship League, and also was part of a Finnish team that got the bronze medal at the World Championships. So we'll see if that translates to American ice. Remember, the size of the rink is smaller in North American hockey, not quite as large as the world stage there. So they also added some more backup play. They had to. Emerance Maskmeyer played the most minutes of any PWHL goalie last season. So Gwyneth Phillips comes over after being the top goaltender in the NCAA in 2023. So we'll see if that's able to help Ottawa. The big thing with the Charge is you've got to figure out how to convert some of those overtime games to being victories, and not have all those losses there. And then finally, the New York Sirens. Give me just a moment on them as I get my colors transferred over. Actually, that's too similar. Let's go with Sorry, having a little bit of fun with the visuals for those watching the show. Trying to get there we go. That looks better for New York. There's the splash of color that we want for New York. For the New York Sirens, after finishing in last place in the PWHL a season ago, overall, New York only had 5 wins in regulation, easily the fewest in the league. They finished with just 26 points in the 24 games. The fewest in the league by a wide margin. They were 6 points behind Ottawa. So a large gap. That was as big of a gap as it was between first and second overall in the league. So New York, they've got a new head coach now. Greg Fargo comes over from Colgate University. And then also you finish last in the league, you get the first overall pick. Sarah Fillier comes in. And so we'll see what Sarah is able to do for New York. Fillier signed a 1-year deal with the Sirens. She's been played a lot of center during her collegiate career, but this past year at Princeton, she did play on the wing. So she's trying to play a little bit of everywhere. So we'll see what New York is able to do to try to rebound off of being last in the league a season ago, or can they get off of that and instead give us something a little bit more competitive this season? New coach, number 1 overall pick. That always brings in optimism, that always brings excitement to the table anytime you're doing it. Well, that is going to do it. That will do it for our show here tonight. Big shout out and thank you, of course, to our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. You can find them at planetjerky.net or follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Also, think of it, Seal the Deal, Wax Seals. Place your orders by going to IESportsRadio.com/Seal the Deal, Wax Seals. Follow them on Instagram at @SealTheDeal_Wax Seals. Especially with the holidays coming up, always nice to add that little personal touch to your cards, to your presents that you're sending out. And of course, this show would not be possible without the platform that is IE Sports Radio. Follow them at IE Sports Radio on all your social media platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube at IE Sports Radio. You can also go to IESportsRadio.com and see everything to do with the shows there. This and all the other shows on the network. Thank you to Larry B, the star and overlord of all things IE Sports Radio, for all the hard work you're doing behind the scenes. Sure, it is not so unnoticed, nor is it unappreciated. Thank you also to Larry B and Ralph Malik for hanging out in the chat room with us tonight. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you to everybody that watched the show live tonight across Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Thank you for hanging out with us. If you are listening later on in the week as a podcast, thank you for listening as well. We appreciate, I know there's lots of shows out there to listen to and keep your attention. Thank you for making this one part of your week. He wasn't here tonight, but for Jack Pupless, I am Adam Karnick. Together, we are the Neutral Zone. We do this every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. Next week, we will get caught up on everything else happening in the hockey world. Until then, light the lamp, go get check-in sports, stay at a pedal box, and always check the 5 volts. We'll see you next week, everybody.